algorithms and data analysis and whatnot. I came to Turkey in 2019, so I sort of completed the circle in terms of understanding how can we leverage technology to add efficiency to operationally intensive businesses. And right now we're working on Kamion.
All right, this is another episode of the Form Your Own Pack podcast. My guest today is another Y Combinator founder. You're currently in the batch of, is it summer? No, what is it? Spring 22? Is that what it is?
Summer
It
22.
is summer 22. Geez, I always forget what the S stands for. This is Berkay Adlim from Kamion. How are you doing today?
Very good. How are you doing?
Great. And you are in Istanbul, Turkey. I think that's the first time we've talked to someone from your country.
Yeah, I mean, we're amongst the very few Turkish companies that have the good fortune of being funded by YCombinator.
That's amazing. All right. So for people that don't know, who is Berkay?
So I've been working since the age of 12, and I spent 10 years in the US between 2010 and 2019. During my work life, I was focused on operationally intensive businesses, procurement departments, warehousing departments, logistics departments. And then in the US, I did undergrad at UIUC, University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I did industrial engineering, and then I worked for 2 years at Cambridge, Massachusetts. After that, I did my master's at Columbia. I was focused on learning about algorithms and data analysis and whatnot. I came to Turkey in 2019, so I sort of completed the circle in terms of understanding how can we leverage technology to add efficiency to operationally intensive businesses. And right now we're working on Kamion.
Amazing. So, and what sort of problem is Kamion solving?
So we're building basically in a very, very simplistic manner. We're building the Uber for trucks for the Turkish market. Right now, there is a lot of manual processes involved in freight forwarding for trucking, and we eliminate these inefficient processes, and we utilize technology as much as we can to automate stuff. What that enables us to do is we can do more with less people, and what that helps us to do that puts you in a growth curve, right? As you do more with less people, you can operate with lower gross margins. As you operate with lower gross margins, you grow faster because you give better prices to carriers and better prices to shippers. Carriers are the truckers, shippers are the companies we work with. So that's effectively what we're working on in a very simple manner, I'd say.
Sure. Okay, so the problem you're solving is what?
So it's if you're a company, let's say we work with large conglomerates, right? Manufacturing operations intensive. You need at least 5 trucks a day to haul what you have sold to whoever is buying it within the country with trucks. And right now, if you have a team that's working on it, usually these conglomerates have operations teams that working on it, that find trucks, that work with freight forwarders that help them find trucks. The problem is since there's a lot of manual processes, they have to employ a lot of people to harness that complexity. And that goes for us as well as the freight forwarding company. You have to employ a lot of people in traditional ways, if you're operating in traditional ways, to be able to operate efficiently. What we're solving is basically we are eliminating these manual processes. It's phone calls, emails, sometimes there are faxes. And by doing that, we help both the shippers save time and money, and we ourselves save time and money because both of us do more with less people. And a good addition to that is we basically structure the data in between these conversations and information exchanges. All of the emails that is being exchanged, all of the phone calls, we have them on a dashboard. So what that means is by having that structured data, you increase your predictability. When you collect that data, you can run algorithms on it, basically. That adds it's sort of like the icing on the cake for us.
And so the typical customer you have, how would they find out about your solution, and what does it look like when they adopt it?
So usually how they find out about us is basically they can go to our website and submit a form and tell us they want to work with us.
Oh, okay.
But for the largest companies, we work with sort of like the largest companies there is in Turkey. And how that works is to get business, we meet a lot of people, we attend a lot of events. It has to be you have to establish trust first. So what we do is we increase exposure of Kamion in the B2B setting in large conglomerates. And after they start working with us, it's quite simple. It becomes easier for them to find trustworthy carriers at lower prices with higher operational performance. And we basically, you can think of it as, when you use Amazon to buy a book, you don't care about Amazon's technology. What you care about is the book comes in an okay price. It always comes when you click on the buy button, and it comes fast, right? It's similar to us. And Amazon uses technology to do these basics better. The same with us. We utilize technology to establish a pool of trustworthy carriers, to give people better prices, and to have high operational performance. It's very simple.
That sounds amazing. All right, so what phase is the business actually at, and what's next for you guys?
So we're basically standing at 200K revenue per month, growing at 50% month over month. And what we want to do is, first, we want to expand. So the market we're operating is huge. Turkey is Middle East and North Africa's largest economy. And the total addressable market we have, the total logistics market we have is $73 billion. Half of that is trucking. We want to start with trucking, expand into whole Turkey, and then we can expand into different verticals, because we see a lot of pain points with respect to financing, with respect to solutions in giving people banking solutions, with respect to helping people have access to cheaper trucks, cheaper gas, cheaper tires. Basically, for the short term, we're going to keep growing in what we're doing. And in the medium term, I can tell you that we will be expanding into different verticals that make sense for us.
That's amazing. And that's great traction. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. I want to be respectful of your time. If you could offer other entrepreneurs only one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
I would say speed and being diligent are not trade-offs. You should try to do both. So while executing fast, you should also make sure you pay attention to detail. And when you have that mindset, you are more thoughtful and you can move faster. That's the main key takeaway, I'd say.
I love it. That is great advice. What role have either partnerships or community played in your success so far?
So for the community on our carriers end, it's a very, very community-oriented pool of carriers we have. So we try to approach them in a way that shows that we want to help them. We pay them earlier, and we pay them on better terms. We give them better prices, and we try to help them with whatever needs or wants they may have, because it's a very, very hard business to be in if you're a trucker. So the main role community plays in our business is in terms of telling truckers that we're always here for them, that we understand their needs, and that we will be continuing to provide better solutions for them as we grow.
That is amazing. All right. So if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Well, the best way to reach me would be via LinkedIn. The second comes email. And my email is my name, Berkay, at kamion.co. That is not com, it's co. It's not .com, it's .co. Yes.
Great.
So Berkay at kamion.co is the best way to reach me, or you can find my LinkedIn profile. It's pretty visible.
Yeah, and we'll include links to all that within the show notes. Berkay, so thank you so much for spending time with me. I'm going to wrap with one final thing, which is when we have interesting founders or investors on the Form Your Own Pack podcast, we like you to nominate other founders or investors in scalable ventures. We are getting a lot of YCombinator people, so if you have any people in your class that you've met, but who would you like to nominate as a future guest of the podcast?
Well, I think I'd go with the folks at Instant, Stepan and Joe.
Okay.
They're very talented engineers, and they're building something that is needed. So I think if you talk to them afterwards, it should add value to the podcast.
Wonderful. Okay, so Stepan and Joe, you've both been nominated. Do you think they'll come on together from Instant?
I'm guessing so. They're really good friends and very good business partners. So I think they should be able to make it together.
Amazing. Okay, we will follow up with you on that. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and we look forward to following your journey.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Take care.
Thank you.